Hey there, guys. It's AEGM. I've been horrifically sick, so I haven't been able to make the preseason videos that I wanted to. But I just wanted to cover a few quick key things that I learned from Crucible, my first season playing PoE, on how as to how I can become more efficient or a better player this season. And really, it's going to come down to a lot of choices, a lot of efficiency choices, and a little bit of game knowledge. The first thing really is my initial Atlas strategy. Is going to look something like this. I really underestimated the power of Wandering Path and Stream of Consciousness. Last season, I pretty much never touched these, and I didn't touch Stream of Consciousness until the very, very end. I was like, oh, this is like very good actually, because you seeing some of the strategies I did on my channel. I had like 8 or 9 components going into maps, and it was kind of really frustrating getting set up for stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm out of this, I'm out of that. I gotta go buy it on the market, and I gotta sit in the market thing, and I gotta pay a shitty price if I want to get this done quickly. And the amount more time I spend, the more currency I'm losing from not doing maps. So I may as well pay more money to get the thing. And it was a crime. It was really just a crime the way that I went about stuff. And my initial mapping strategy was to just do my highest tier map and go into my first money making strategy immediately, which had a few setbacks. You know, I had a few times where I had to go from like a tier 16 map down to like a tier 9, and I was like, well, shit, dude, you know. And this is gonna prevent that entirely. With the Wandering Path and these nodes, you'll have a 100% chance from one monster in your map to drop an additional connected map. So that'll be guaranteed within one tier of the map that you're doing. So you won't have any major setbacks, and it's more likely that you'll make more progress that way. Um, So it's kind of like just a huge safety net. And once you've got enough points and you're kind of getting into higher tier maps, then you can kind of start dropping some points into your first strategy, which is my second point, to increase efficiency. I started out testing a bunch of different stuff. I think my first strategy was ritual. It was fuck, where is it? I can't even find it now. Yeah, it was ritual. I got all the little ritual nodes, and I had no idea how to price items or anything like that. It went horribly. And then I respec'd and I tried some other weird shit. I went like heist, torment, and I tested everything, and it just went poorly. And it reduced it like A, it cost a bunch of money to respec all the time, and B, it reduced my profit per hour immensely. So I'm just gonna go with something that I know works and is fairly consistent. Something that I know isn't going to be in demand because everybody's going to be crafting their stuff. And even if it isn't so in demand, then it's just selling, selling, selling. It's still going to be stuff that I can use to set up my character. Um, I'm going to start with Essence Harvest personally, and once we're getting into it, I can start taking some of these small nodes, pathing around, um, and that stream of consciousness is going to feed into it a lot, and the wandering path is going to feed into it a lot. Before it, I can take these like as soon as I stop taking wandering path, but that's going to be closer to like 90 um, points in the atlas or something like that. Because I really want to be established personally. I don't think I need these to start with. No, that's for after I respec. Uh, there's some nodes over here. What are these? Yeah, so like this stuff. So that's this along with stream of consciousness is just going to really help feed into making sure that I get some currency every map. And just start prepping with the stuff like this. Start taking some of the harvest stuff, and it's really not. It's not such a big deal to mess this up, but it definitely cost me a lot of time, and it was a big learning point for me until I landed on something that started making me money, which was it, for the first time was Blight, and I still didn't understand the Blight points that much. I expected to a bunch of stuff that didn't help still, but it's important to learn. So there's the second point: higher Atlas efficiency. Um, Picking one respec point where you go from progression into money making instead of trying to do both at the same time throughout the whole process. Um, and this isn't the only way to do that progress. This is just what I'm going to do. And the biggest point, number three, maybe it's not the biggest point, but another thing that's going to save me a lot of time and frustration is that I'm avoiding re-leveling. My first build is going to be CF Champion. My mid-game build is going to be CF Champion with more money on it. And then it's going to be Lightning Strike Champion at the very end. Uh, and that way I could avoid re-leveling, because re-leveling was a really frustrating process for me last time. I went from Cold Dot Elementalist into the Static Shockwave Slayer, and that was it was kind of a bummer. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to level, once you have all the twin gear, but it's kind of a bummer to go through the market and try to buy all these like 2, 3 chaos items, like right in the swing of the league where everyone's like really into it and playing their build and farming currency. They're too busy to respond to you. Uh, it just sucks, and then it costs a bunch of time. There's my alarm to wake up. Um, yeah, it just costs a bunch of time. It costs a bunch of currency, especially if you're buying Taste of Hate and stuff like that early just for leveling. If your build needs Taste of Hate, maybe it's a different story for you. But like spending all this currency and then spending all this time and then all this frustration on releveling, it's just something I want to avoid, and it's gonna, I don't know, like when I'm at the point where I'm farming mid-tier maps, higher tier maps to just slam currency to get to my end game build. Those 4 to 6 hours does it costs a lot of currency in the way that I'm not spending time making any currency, So just this way I can get to my end game build faster, and then once I'm like really in the end game and blasting stuff, then I can start to look at playing around with playing some new stuff that I've never touched before, and stuff like that. Play with some crafting and have some fun. Just with the sandbox freedom of a game that I don't know too much about. Uh, well, yeah, those are my 3 major points to make me a better player in the upcoming league. To save time is one, a consistent progression strategy for your Atlas instead of multi-purpose Atlas, or trying to skip the progression and going straight into currency farming. It's going to save a lot of time. It's going to save a lot of orbs of unmaking. Two, picking an efficient, not necessarily even efficient, but a consistent farming strategy that you're not going to swap around too much. Something that works, uh, and works well enough that you don't need to be swapping it all the time. And three, avoiding re-leveling. And these 3 things are going to save me a lot of time, and they're going to uh, free up a lot more space for me to think about other stuff and to play the game better. Basically, I don't have to spend knowledge resources or time thinking about and executing and swapping stuff around for these 3 purposes. So I'm just going to do better this league because of these 3 things. Spend more time farming. I'll spend more time on my build. I'll spend more time in the map than I would have last season at the start. So if these points apply to you, drop a comment, give me a like. I'd appreciate it a lot. I'll be looking out to make more videos throughout the league. Um, have a great day.